Hi friends, in this video we are going to discuss the topic Thinking Hat System, and this topic we will be discussing under the module Teaching Aptitude. Before moving into the details of this particular thinking hat system, we will be first looking at why is it so much important, or what is the significance of this particular system that we are going to discuss. So let's consider a situation where you need to take a decision on something, or consider a situation where you need to solve a particular problem, or you are in a situation where you have to find out a proper solution for something. This situation, what is the best thing or what is the most appropriate thing that you have to do? You have to look at that particular situation from various perspectives. You have to analyze and you have to study about that particular thing that you are focusing on from different perspectives, and that is what gives you a proper decision, or that is what gives you a proper solution. But oftentimes we might miss out certain perspectives and we will be ending up in solutions that might be not that accurate for that situation, because we have missed out certain aspects that were really important in considering when it comes to a problem solving or taking a proper decision. So here comes the significance or importance of thinking hat system. So basically this includes 6 different types of thinking. So we are focusing on a particular issue from 6 different perspectives, and finally we will be ending up in taking a proper decision or finding out a proper solution for the problem that we are concerned. So this particular idea of 6 thinking hats, or this approach, was created by Edward de Bono. He was a Maltese physician, psychologist and philosopher, and he has introduced this particular idea in his book, which was titled with the same name, The 6 Thinking Hats, in 1985. So he has published a book titled 6 Thinking Hats in 1985, and in this particular book he has introduced this idea of thinking hat system. So the 6 thinking hats technique gets you to look at a problem in 6 different ways. So as I have already mentioned, when it comes to a situation where you need to take a proper decision, so your decision making or your problem solving, if you need to find a proper solution for a situation, if you're using this particular technique, this 6 thinking hats technique, what are you actually doing there? You will be just looking at that particular situation or that particular problem from different angles, 6 different angles. So this will give you a full-on analysis about the issue, and this would help you in finding out the most appropriate solution for your problem. So basically 6 thinking hats technique gets you to look at a problem in 6 different ways, because it includes 6 different types of thinking. So each thinking role is identified with a colored symbolic thinking hat. So here you have a symbolic thinking hat, you have different colors here, you have different colored thinking hats. So these are symbolic ideas. So each of these thinking roles, or each of these 6 thinking types, has a particular color which is assigned to it. That is what mentioned here. Each thinking role is identified with a colored symbolic thinking hat. So when you are mentally wearing or switching these hats, you can easily focus or redirect thoughts, the conversation or the meeting. So when you are in a particular situation where you need to take a proper decision on something, or if you are in a situation where you need to take a proper solution, or if you need to find a proper solution on a problem, what you have to do, if you are using this thinking hats or this thinking hat system, you will be having 6 different perspectives to look at a particular issue or a particular problem that you are concerned, and you will be looking at it in various angles. You will be thinking of the various perspectives of that particular issue, And likewise, you'll be ending up, or you'll be ending in finding out the most appropriate solution or the most appropriate decision that you can take on that particular problem. So that is what we are going to discuss in this particular video. So as I have already mentioned, if you're using this particular technique in your problem solving or in your decision making, you have 6 different approaches or 6 different types of thinking, and each of this thinking role is assigned or identified with a colored symbolic thinking hat. So now we are moving to this different colored thinking hats. So first you have the white hat. So what do you mean by this white hat? It calls for information known or needed, or it focuses on information gathering. So let's say if you are in a classroom or if you are in an organization where you are using this kind of approach or in thinking, your thinking system. So if you are in the white hat mode, that means that is the information gathering mode. So if you are in that particular thinking phase, what you will be doing? You will be just collecting the data that is needed for this particular situation. So let's say if you need to take a proper decision in your organization, or if you have to find a proper solution for one of the problems that you're facing in your organization, if you are getting your people, or if you are gathering all the members or the employees together, and if you're having a conversation or a discussion, if it's the first phase is the white hat phase, or is the first phase in which you will be having the decision, in that particular time you will be focusing on the white hat mode, and what you will be doing, you will be just gathering information. So white hat actually stands for information gathering. So calls for information known or needed. Then comes the yellow hat. So what do you mean by this yellow hat? It stands for optimism. So it symbolizes brightness and optimism. You accentuate the benefits and the added value that could come from your idea. So yellow hat, if your discussion is in that particular phase, if you are in the yellow hat mode, what you will be doing under yellow hat, what are you doing is you will be just evaluating the positives of the ideas that you have contributed to this particular situation. So white hat stands for information gathering and yellow hat stands for optimism. So you will be evaluating the positives of the ideas that you have already contributed. That's what it says here. You accentuate the benefits and the added value that could come from your ideas. So you are evaluating the positive aspects of the ideas that you have contributed in order to take a proper decision or in order to find a proper solution for your concerned issue or problem. Next, we are moving to the next thinking hat, and that is black hat. So this is a risk management hat. This hat is about being cautious and assessing risk. You employ critical judgment and explain exactly why you have concerns. So basically, when I have mentioned about yellow hat, it stands for optimism. You will be positively thinking, or you will be adding positive points to the ideas that you have contributed. On the other hand, we have black hat, which stands for risk management. So you will be also thinking, what are the negatives of the ideas that you have contributed? If we are going with this particular idea, is there any risk factors that you have to consider? So what are the negatives, what are the problems that we can expect if we are going with this particular idea? That is what we are focusing in the black hat mode. So yellow hat stands for optimism, whereas black hat stands for the risk management. We will be focusing on the risk that can be contributed by the ideas that we have given. And we have already discussed about white hat, and it stands for information gathering. Moving to the next mode, that is the red hat. So red hat stands for our feelings and instincts. So you can express your emotions as well. So if you are contributing an idea, or if you are in a meeting where you have a discussion, if you are in that red hat mode, you have to, if you need to express your ideas, or if you want to express your emotions, you can do that. So this hat represents feelings and instincts. When using this hat, you can express emotions and feelings and share fears, likes, dislikes, loves and hates. So let's say if you are in a meeting, or if you are in a gathering where you are having a very serious discussion, in this particular mode, if you are in the red hat mode, you can express your feelings. If you think that, okay, this idea is really nice, or I am not in an approval with this particular idea, you can express your feelings. There is nothing wrong in that. So that particular expression of emotions and feelings and instincts comes under the red hat. So white hat is the information gathering mode, and then you have the yellow hat which focuses on optimism. You will be focusing on the positive aspects or sides of the ideas that you have contributed. Then you will be thinking about the risk that comes under black hat, and also you can express your emotions and instincts as well. So that comes under the red hat. So you can express your love for that particular thing, or if you're hating that particular idea, you can express that, and you can share your fears. If you have any kind of fears about this particular decision, you can express that. If you like something, you can contribute that as well. You can say, I like that idea, or if you're not agreeing with it, you can just say that I hate that idea. You can express it. So that kind of expressions, your feelings, your emotions comes under the red hat. Now comes the next hat, that is the green hat. So the green hat focuses on creativity. So the possibilities, alternatives and new ideas, it represents creative thinking. So you are in a discussion, you have contributed certain ideas, you have focused on the positives and negatives, and also you have expressed your emotions about that particular idea as well. Now you can think of some alternatives as well. So if you can think of another idea which will be really nice or better than the idea that you have already contributed, you can contribute that. That is the green hat. So this stands for the critical thinking. So and the creative thinking. You need to creatively think about alternative ideas. You have to creatively think about new ideas or new contributions other than the already given idea. Okay. So the green hat stands for creativity. So if your discussion is in the green hat mode, or you are under the green hat, what you have to do, you have to creatively give new ideas, some alternatives, so on and so forth. So green hat stands for creative thinking. Now we have the blue hat, and the blue hat is used to manage the thinking process. So this stands for the managing. If you are following all the instructions or the guidelines of the thinking hat system, that will be focused in the blue hat mode. So the blue hat is used to manage the thinking process. It's the control mechanism that ensures the 6 thinking hats guidelines are observed. Whether we are following the guidelines that are there in the thinking hat system, that is what this blue hat will be monitoring. So basically what we have learned so far. So we said that when it comes to decision making or when it comes to problem solving, oftentimes we will be missing out certain aspects. At times we will be taking decisions based on our feelings. At that times we will be not focusing on the risk that can be contributed by our ideas, right? There are certain times we will be only focusing on the risk factors and we will be just sitting and without doing anything, right? So in that aspect we are not focusing on the positive aspects of that particular idea or anything of that sort. So oftentimes we have a tendency to miss out certain perspectives and angles of the problem, so that we will be ending up decisions that might not be as appropriate as or we end up in making decisions which are not appropriate to the problem that we are concerning. So if you are following this thinking hat system, what is the merit or the advantage? You will be focusing on that particular issue from 6 different perspectives, 6 different ways. You won't be missing out any of the aspects. You will be focusing on the information gathering, then we will be focusing on the positive sides of the idea, then you will be also focusing on the risk factors, then you will be heed to your emotions as well. What your emotion says, that will be also considered, and you will be also focusing on some other alternative ideas. You will be creatively thinking and we will be finding out, you will be checking whether there is any other alternative that we can contribute to this particular situation, and you will be managing all these things together as well. So you will be looking at a particular situation from 6 different perspectives, and obviously that will bring you a very wonderful idea that you need for that particular situation. So this is a thinking hat system. So if we conclude what we have learned so far, or if you need to take certain terms that can be associated with each of these hats, you can think it as it is. So blue hat stands for organization and planning. So that comes as the managing part, right? If your thinking process is going the right track, or are we following the guidelines that are mentioned in the thinking hat system? So there we are focusing on the organization and planning. So the key word that you have to think or you have to remember about blue hat is organization and planning. Then you have green hat. So green hat stands for creative thinking. So creativity, right? So green hat can be associated with creative thinking. Red hat is basically feelings and instincts. There is a place where you can express your feelings, your instincts, so on and so forth. You can express your likes, dislikes, your fear, your love and your hate, anything of that sort. So that comes as a part of red hat. Then you have yellow hat, which stands for the benefits and values. So you will be focusing on, so it stands for optimism, right? So you will be focusing on the positive sides of the idea that you have contributed. That comes under the yellow hat. And then you have the black hat. So that is risk assessment. What are the negatives of the solution that you have contributed or you have just posted? So that comes under black hat. So white hat stands for information gathering. You can just gather as much as possible information on that particular issue. So you can use this particular thinking process in any field, like you can use it in an organization, you can use it for government policies to be made, and you can use it in your day-to-day life as well. We are making a lot of decisions. We are going through a very lot of problem solving situations in our daily life as well, right? So you can use this particular system in your daily life as well. Let's consider, I have seen a video where a teacher has used this particular system in teaching her students. So she is gathering her students in order to make a bridge. So they are pre-primary students and she was giving them certain materials like cardboards, papers and all that, and she is making them, or she's asking them to make a bridge. So she was using all these hats or all this thingy hat in that particular activity that she was doing. At the first phase, she was using the white hat system. So what she was doing, she was asking them to collect the information about bridges. Wherever they have seen bridges, they have to note it down. So they have to find out the features and characteristics of a bridge, and is it strong or weak, what is the shape of a bridge. So that kind of information comes under white hat, and then she asked them to make a particular bridge with using the materials that she has given to them. And after that, she was using the yellow hat. She was asking them to find the positives or the what are the positive aspects of the bridge that they have made out of the things that the teacher has given them. So they were making bridges and they are analyzing these particular bridges that they have made, and they are trying to point out the positives or the advantages of the bridges that they have made. Then comes the black hat. So at that point of time, the teacher was asking them to find out what are the difficulties or the disadvantages of the bridge that they have made, or is there any problem with the bridge that they have already made. So there comes the black hat, right? So then she was moving to the next hat, that is the green hat, where she was asking them to find out, is there any other alternatives that they can think of, or is there any kind of other ideas that they can contribute to the bridge that they have already made. And also she was using the red hat, where she was allowing them to express their feelings, whether they liked it or whether they doesn't like it, they love it or hate it. So she was giving them a platform, a particular phase where they can express their feelings as well. So I have used this particular example in order to make it more clearer for you. So we can use this particular thinking hat system in the classroom as well. So you can use it in the organization, you can use it in the classroom, you can even use it in your personal lives when it comes to problem solving and decision making. So I hope this entire idea of thinking hat system is now clear for you. So now we'll be looking at a few questions that were asked from this particular area in the previous NET exam. So here you have the first question. This was asked in December 2020, June 2021 cycles. So this is a match the following question. So in list 1 you have the thinking hat system, and in list 2 you have the concepts and ideas. If you consider the list 1, you have white hat, red hat, black hat and green hat. So basically all these hats which are mentioned in the list 1 are different types of thinking. That's it, right? So if you consider white hat, it stands for information gathering. If that's the case, which is the right combination that you can contribute, or which is the right combination that you can find from list 2 that we can associate it with white hat? That is option 2. Data gathering, facts, figures, information needs and gaps. So information gathering is the term that we have used or studied for white hat. Then comes red hat. Red hat stands for our feelings and intuitions. If you are having any feelings for the idea that you have already expressed, you can express it. So if you really think it is a nice idea, you can just say, I love that idea. Or if you have some disagreements, you can say that I hate that idea. If you have any fears, you can express it. So your emotions, your instincts. So red hat can be associated with option 4. So A can be associated with 2 and B can be associated with 4, intuition and emotions. Then we have the black hat. So black hat basically stands for risk management, right? So what we are focusing here, we are focusing on judgment. We are judging the ideas that we have already given. So we are looking at it from a judgmental point of view, and we are trying to figure out what are the risks or what are the negatives or what are the disadvantages of the idea that we have given. So judgment and caution, the logical negatives. So C stands for, or C can be associated with option 1. Then we have option D, green hat. Green hat stands for creativity, creative thinking. If that's the case, which is the right option that you can associate it with option D? That is option 3. Provocations, alternatives and creativity proposals. You can think of some alternatives and you can come up with some creative ideas for the situation that is under observation or that is under concern. So once more, white hat stands for information gathering. So A is 2. Then B is 4, then you have C that stands for 1, and finally D can be associated with option 3. So if that's the case, A2, B4, C1 and D3 is option B. So the right answer for this question is option B. Moving to the next question, this is again asked in the December 2020 and June 2021 cycles net exam. Which of the following are the 6 thinking hat system? A form of parallel thinking. So basically this is a form of thinking, right? So which are the hats that we can identify under the 6 thinking hat system? We have the options brown hat, white hat, violet hat, red hat and black hat. We haven't heard about this brown hat and violet hat in our class. So you can just eliminate that option. That is not associated with, there is nothing like this brown hat and violet hat and thinking hat system. So which are the hats that we can identify with the 6 thinking hat system? We have white hat, red hat and black hat. So that is B, D and E. So B, D and E is option C. So the right answer for this question is option C. So in this video, we have discussed the topic, the thinking hat system. We have discussed the 6 different types of thinking modes for the thinking hat system, and we have discussed the questions that were asked from this particular area in the previous exam as well. So I hope this video will be really helpful for you. So if you want more classes like this for your NET preparation, you can join Appleby Academy's course. So we are having our course led by live interactive sessions as well as our learning management system. So we'll be providing our various learning resources to the different modes that are available in the LMS or the learning management system. You will be getting comprehensive notes and 24/7 available pre-recorded video classes are available. The PPTs that we are using in our classes are also available in our LMS platform, and you can also make use of the test paper session where you can practice as many test papers as possible. So that will also make you more competent in this particular exam, which is conducted as a national level competitive exam. So if you want to know more about our course or if you want to join with us, you can just contact to the number that is given in the description box. So thanks for watching and happy learning.